What's up, everybody? The Rad is back. Hello, if you're new here, I am the Rad Picker, aka Scott, aka Gilly Time. I am a part-time reseller and a carpenter, and this is going to be the realest reselling video ever. Thus, you get the real bedhead. This is literally how I woke up. This is not a Johnny Knoxville try to be, wanna be. That's the real deal. So this is the realist 313 Forget Free World video out there. It's been a while. I'm not gonna sing this song. I always do that. I'm gonna hold back and just relax a little bit with my pipe. I don't know where this came from. I can't believe put my lips on it. I am a closet germaphobe, so I don't like to do that. But here I am making mistakes. But that's what I do. This is a everything channel. If you're new to this content, oh, by the way, I welcome the trolls. Please, please, please continue. I don't have many, but those of you that do come and troll, I really want to engage a little bit more, because I'm like that. Don't let the hair fool you. I am a nice guy. I am 100% sane. Well, 87%, but anyways, I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope your Christmas went wonderfully. It was a couple days ago. What's today? Saturday. I had a great Christmas. I did get this awesome Detroit Pistons sweatshirt, amongst other things. Had a great Christmas. It's going wonderfully. Today, I have a lot to do. So I was going to share a little bit of what's going on. I don't have anything that I sold in front of me, but it's weird. I was gone last week in Florida to a basketball tournament. We got home Christmas Eve. We were there like 7 days. And by the way, we won the tournament in the hardest bracket, because that's what we do. Shout out Lady Cavs and Coach Jamie Gillis, the world's greatest women's basketball coach, high school. And girls played awesome. It was so fun. Went to Universal. By the way, I did some videos on TikTok about that. And the worst ride on the earth is the Harry Potter ride with the little sphere. If you've been there, you know. I was warned beforehand, and 98% of people that ride that stupid ride get sick. That was the second ride we rode. We had fast passes, so I think we rode, by the way, one of the best rides I've ever rode is the Harry Potter motorcycle one. I don't know the names of these things, guys. It's all I can do to not eat boogers when I'm even around the Harry Potter area. Shout out to all you nerds. I love you. I am a closet nerd. I don't actually eat my boogers. I put them under my seat in my car. But anyways, the motorcycle one is super rad, but the sphere one with the 3D stuff, I got so sick. And I don't throw up. I have an iron stomach, and I don't throw up, but I wanted to. A buddy of mine that rode with me was sicker than me, and when we were walking back, we got, drinks, frozen Cokes or whatever, and I look over, he goes, and dude, if he would have done that, I would have threw up. But just tear the ride down. Everyone I know, minus maybe one that rode that, got sick. But outside of that, the Velocicoaster, whatever, I don't know. I'm not an expert at these things. The only reason I go is for like ball tournaments and stuff. I avoid it like the plague. Not my cup of tea. I don't like to be around crowds of people, and I don't like to be on my feet all day. And I can get adrenaline by going out in the dark and shooting at stuff. So anyways, that being said, but it's still fun. The girls are great. It's great to be around them. I don't know where I was going. Oh, while I was gone, I had a lot of sales, and I didn't put my store on vacation mode. That's as real as it gets. So I had to send some messages. Oddly enough, I didn't get any crazy, where's this thing at? People were very pleasant over Christmas. And I just told them, I said, look, it's delayed. I'll be home this day, which is far beyond my shipping dates, at least by a couple days. And everyone was really, really cool. So shout out to those. If you are viewing this, man, it's great to get patient people. I don't do a bad job shipping. I really don't. If I lead on that I do that, I really don't. It's very rare. I won't say very rare. There's a reason I was below standard because I had several lates, but some of that had to do with putting it on the dock, but we've been over that. But I try to get my stuff out. I don't know. I haven't looked at my, I call it acceptance rate. What do you call it? The approval ratings or whatever. I was at like 99 point something. I probably have a couple because I did have, I have probably dropped. Let me slow down here for you, for you special trolls out there that you need a little bit more clarity. I am all over the place, but I probably had a couple people comment. I need to look. That's what you won't believe is I don't even look. I don't call eBay and ask them to take stuff down. I'm a part-time reseller now. I'm back in the construction industry and it feels really good. But anyways, about the shipping, everything went good over my little vacation time. I sold some stuff. I had some sales. I woke up this morning. I've sold a quilt, a Sony 5-disc CD changer. Yesterday, I sold a Denon 5-disc changer. And what did I ship out? Oh, sorry. Shout out Little Buddha is funny. On vacation, I was thinking, I need to just send you this Buddha I had. I had this 18 inches wooden carved Buddha. And I sold that while I was gone. I'm going to take a bath in the shipping. The only box I had was a box that held my 2 rolls of bubble wrap up here. And so I put the Buddha in there, wrapped it all up. I actually had a return on a DVD VCR combo. Had tons of bubble wrap on it because that's how I ship. And I just reused that bubble wrap on the Buddha, put it in that box, cut my sides down. It was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon yesterday, my first day of shipping, trying to get all the orders out that I got while I was gone. And so I was in a hurry to get this done. And I realized I had shipping on that for like $12. And there's no way. That thing's going to cost, it'll probably cost me like $40 because I took it to USPS instead of just shipping it FedEx, which is odd because I sold 2 video games, a Cars video game for the Wii and WWE SmackDown. I forget which one. It had John Cena on the cover. That was the PS2, and sold those, and they were FedEx, both of those. For some reason, I must have copied someone else's listing, or the customer preferred FedEx. Either way, so I had to take them over to FedEx anyways, and it's right by my house, but I sold that Buddha. Anyways, I'm getting notifications here. Maybe my nephew just killed a deer. I'll have to check that out. I think they went deer hunting. They probably killed a deer if I'm guessing. I didn't get up this morning. We stayed up late playing Pinochle. If y'all aren't card players, Pinochle is by far the greatest game. I married into a Pinochle family. My wife and all her siblings play Pinochle. I grew up in the north, so I played euchre. Euchre doesn't hold a candle to Pinochle. I don't even like playing spades anymore. I play spades and hearts with my kids, but Pinochle is where it's at. And last night, my wife and her sister beat me and my nephew like 5 or 6 straight games. They got all the cards. It wasn't even fun. At one point, it was 170 to -5. I mean, unreal. I start out, go set with incredible cards. But my partner, my nephew, Daniel, shout out to Daniel, learn how to deal because I'm sick and tired of going set when I have a bomb of a hand. So, anywho, I was up late. We finally played long enough where we got a dub, and it's great. No one remembers the old games. They remember the last champion. So, we are the champions, my friends. We'll keep on fighting till the end. Missed a note there. Anyways, so sales going good. I was going to mention, I wish I had it here. I wish I'd have made this video with the stuff I sold. Clothing. I'm the world's worst clothing salesman. My mother, we had an argument, by the way. I asked her on Christmas if she thought she was a better reseller than me. She stuttered. And then I said, do you think you're a better sourcer? And she said, yes. And I said, that's interesting. And she said, you're a better everything hard goods seller. I'm a better clothing seller. Sourcer. She didn't go as far as the selling yet, but I took note of that. So anyhow, my clothing stuff is starting to sell. I sold a vintage pair of size 30, I think they're 34, 32, Ralph Lauren chaps, pleated khakis for $34.19. Pretty close there anyways. I know I got those for $1 and or free. Sorry, I keep getting messages on my phone. So man, clothing are for me, because I don't pay hardly anything for clothing, is such a great flip. I'm becoming more and more interested. And I know I jump around all over the place here. I don't script this out, so it's just the way my mind works. I'm going to mention something really cool that happened to me yesterday. I have a friend of mine that we've hung out in a long time, and he's a contractor, and he messaged me while I was gone, said, "Are you still reselling?" I said, "Yes." And he said, he showed me a picture of some stuff he had, and it was brand new quick set doorknobs. And if you've ever bought anything for your house lately, doorknobs are, fairly expensive, $20, 15 to $60, So there are oil rub bronze, and there was a bunch of them, and satin nickel. Then I saw he had lights. These are all brand new items. Normally he gives me stuff, so I didn't know. I went over to the warehouse yesterday and met him, his warehouse, and one that he's been renting from a mutual friend of ours. And it was almost empty. He has a dumpster outside, but he had quite a bit, probably a dozen, interior and exterior lights, big pendants. He had a chandelier, some stuff. So the deal was he wanted $200 for it all, and it was well worth it. He had cable for handrails, like power door hinges for commercial doors, all new in the box. So the stuff, one of those lights is worth $200. So I said yes, and he let me do it on consignment. I didn't have any cash on me. I could Venmo him or whatever, and I'd probably just pay him that way. But I didn't have to pay him, so basically a consignment, more or less, and well worth it. If I don't make $1,000 on that, I suck. So I listed some yesterday while I was there. It was getting later in the afternoon. So I had the garage door up there and took some pictures, listed some on Facebook Marketplace and some on the Bay, and this stuff will sell. So that was a cool find. But he had a dumpster out there, and he said, you might want to go dumpster diving too. There's a lot of stuff in there. I just look over the edge, and immediately a snow shovel, brand new couplings for commercial fire sprinklers. The couplings, they're probably, anywhere from 10 to 25 bucks themselves, just the coupling. And there was a box of those. There was 6-inch hard pipe. This is all new stuff. I pulled a drill bit out of there that had been used once that I know is $60 because I have one. But so I'm going to go dumpster diving later today. That's my plans. I got to put brakes on my truck. I got to boil down this deer head. For those of you that don't know, I am an avid deer hunter, and I got a pretty good 8-point, and it's been sitting with the cape. If you don't know what a cape is, that's when you mount it. They take so much hide off. That way, when the taxidermist does it, he has plenty of hide to work with the head. But I decided against that. I'm going to do a European mount, which means I'm going to skin it off, boil it, and then bleach the skull, so it's just a skull. I'm going to cut out the shape of Tennessee with some cool wood. I'm going to get it laser engraved on the forehead and dipped in an American flag. So I will show you that when I finally get it done. I'm a procrastinator, so I'll probably get it boiled down. It'll be a bleached out skull with the horns probably forever. But my idea with this one, instead of getting it mounted, because I have several mounts, and you run out of place to put them, and they all look the same to me. It's cool and all, but eventually, I don't want dozens and dozens of mounts. That's a different story for another day. Some of you are probably anti-hunting. I get it. You would do well on the Harry Potter rides. I'm just kidding. But anyways, here's the realest part about this. I still find myself watching reselling content. I still have my favorites, whether it's my algorithm or whatever. I still enjoy it. And I was thinking about that over this Christmas season. It's kind of funny. Coming up here at the Super Bowl was the anniversary that I got on District and some of that. And here's the update. I was really going to make a video going off. I really was, but I'm so tired of that too. Eventually you just got to just get over it. But I will say this. This is the only bad thing I'll say. It disappointed me really bad. I don't mind. Well, first of all, let me preface this. I'll go back to that, because I am going to tell a little story there, so y'all clear. Because some people are like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. And I'm not going to go deep in the weeds, but I'm going to let y'all know the deal. And at this point, this is what disappoints me. I'm not able to be on there. I set up my store, but I can't list anything. I had some correspondence, but apparently the person that was corresponding with me didn't know they weren't allowed to speak with me. So I emailed someone in charge and would not respond to me whatsoever. I sent an email every day for at least 13 days with no response. Being very cordial and polite, just, hey, if there's some real issue, please let me know. They will not do it. So I'm torn here. The part of me, I definitely miss it, definitely want to be on there. I had some people in my Whatnot shows mentioning it's not really the same over there, so I don't know. I can't speak on that. Allegedly, they just said, some things they didn't really care for were going on, and they said it's not the same. Seems like a lot of stuff's dying. I don't know. That's alleged. Don't shoot the messenger. You already did. But that was my favorite selling platform. Now, mind you, the other side of me, so I guess what I'm saying is I wanted to be back. I wanted to have my own marketplace, but that got 86. And I'll get into that because I'm going to explain this, because there are some things I may have been wrong about, but not all of it. Anyways, but the part of me is this. I am a loyal person and honest as I can't lie. I'm a horrible liar. Probably to a fault. I probably should just keep my mouth shut sometimes, but I just say how I think. You know that if you've been watching this at any time. But I am a man of principle. And any business that operates that way, I'm not sure I want to be a part of. And that I don't want to go all the way here because, if I got contacted and they said, hey, there's the deal. But, man, to not respond, to not deal with it, why won't you just... If it was a legitimate reason, why wouldn't you just say it? That is my biggest issue. Like, hey, I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And at least we can have some correspondence. And if you feel some certain way about some rules allegedly broken, then you should have the confidence to operate your business. That's why I tend to think there's some shadier stuff going on. But again, we've been through that. But I do want to explain something, make something clear. Because I made it sound as if it was because I jump around when I talk like I just did, that it was all one way. But the truth is, it wasn't just marketplace holders. It was buyers. And it was because there was an email that I saw, and it was completely untrue. This was from back in July. And it said basically that, it was true that I was bringing up in particular a buyer or two. And the reason I was doing that, that's why it made me mad that they wouldn't answer this part. And I said, that is absolutely true. And I can certainly understand your side. And this is the one I didn't get any response to begin with. And I said, and I can understand that. And I said, I can certainly operate in the future if that's the way it needs to be, that just not mention anything. and that I could hit a button in response, like basically if somebody was saying something or harassing me, which absolutely happened. That's not alleged, that's a fact. That I could hit a report button. I don't even know where that is, but that's what it said. But I mentioned that the reason I was bringing it up because I had sent message after message warning people, telling them to please block these people, and they would not. And to my knowledge, they're not to this day. And this included all types of harassment on many levels. And it cost me a lot of money. I had one in particular that kept buying stuff and wouldn't pay for it. And I sent an email or a message saying, hey, very politely, hey, I need to ask you to please refrain from buying anymore until you can fix your card issues. And we all know what that means. And this person snapped, and then that's where it all happened. And that person is the alleged person that started this. But I had warned certain people about it, and that's what bothered me too. Somebody asked if I want to go back. This is that I don't know if I want to be on anything where it's operating that way, that you're not protecting the truth, just in sellers alike. But anyways, again, there can be mistakes made. People are easily fooled. I get that. I'm smart enough. Well, I'm stupid enough because I get suckered and I trust people right off the bat. But I do understand that people don't get both sides of the story. They don't know. And if somebody's been operating for a while, planning stuff in somebody's head, they're going to have this opinion. And for you to change that without having any correspondence, you're just out of luck. So I'm smart enough to know that. So now you know the story why I was kicked off district. Again, I never got any sort of messages, hey, you've broken these rules, blah, blah, blah. You're suspect nothing, just erase. So you can answer that for me because I don't even know. So I know I've heard people say something about, well, I'll just leave that alone. So that's the reason is some alleged stuff that happened. But on my account, the first email I ever saw was just a month or so ago. I think I mentioned it on a video, is that it was from July, and I never saw this email. So that was weird that it came up. And that's the only response I got was an attachment from that July email stating, and it wasn't specific. It stated, well, it didn't mention one name. So I know they were definitely involved because they mentioned it. But the fact that they won't correspond with me is, again, that makes me like again, I was going to make a full video and go all in, but I don't even, you never know. I can burn bridges, whatever, but that puts a bad taste in my mouth is that you will operate that way. And I know that's where, I know there's pressure from other angles, but it is what it is. But I wanted you people out there that have asked me and just in conversations or messages like, oh, I didn't know that's what it was. So anyway, so that was my hopes that that I would get a correspondence and be able to operate my marketplace. I know some of you have requested that or at least encouraged me in that regard. And I'm sorry, doesn't look like it's going to happen. But like I said before, I didn't have a whole lot of hope in that. And truth be told, if we're recapping the whole year, it knocked my legs out from under me. It did, because I was doing anywhere from $500 to $1,500 in revenue a week on live selling. And I don't hardly do any whatnot shows. Kind of just lost the steam for that. And but I'm definitely going to do some. Definitely not done reselling. That was part of my story to flip back. Is that warehouse is a mutual friend of ours, and it would be perfect for me. So I started this whole conversation that went sideways with the fact that I could store clothing in there, hang it. It's climate controlled. It's probably 60 by 30, the whole building, climate controlled. I could do a lot in there. and I would probably amp my reselling up a little bit along with my construction. For those of you that don't know, I'm a contractor. I build decks. I'm a carpenter. That light just flickered, went out. So there we are. Let's see if we can't change the lighting. Too late. So this is what it is. Amazing. So this little light of mine. This is the side of me that wants to go crazy. This is the side of me, the rational side. So you pick what side you want to mess with. But anyways, that building would be great. I don't know if I reached out to my friends that own it, and they said they may keep it for themselves. I really hope I could get that. That would be the perfect space for me. I mean, I could put workout stuff in there. I thought about building a half pipe in there. I've always wanted to build myself a half pipe for skateboarding. Although if I fall on this shoulder or this shoulder, it's going to be really bad. But I hope I get that space because I would really be able to organize. It would change everything. I would be out of this garage, and I would have a really good space to work out of. So that's in the near future. I'm excited about everything. Again, like I said, at the end of the year, it's time to reflect, look back on yourself, your life, both professionally, mentally, spiritually, and make necessary changes. We all want to get healthier. I'm trying to do that. I've been horrible for a couple months, and it's time to get back in the gym, get to lifting again. That's my favorite thing. My daughter gets married in May. I think I need to lose 30 pounds probably. If I get in the 220s, it's scary for y'all. I don't care to tell you, I'm probably 257 right now. After Christmas, maybe a little more. 6'1", so too much weight. But get healthy out there. It means a lot. We want y'all to stick around. Shout out to all the resellers, both friends and foes. I hope y'all are selling a ton well beyond this fourth quarter. It is my desire for everyone to succeed. That's the truth. Again, I don't know what's going to happen in the future with this live selling, but it was a disappointment. I had, outside of reselling, I had another business. Last night I had to message. And I don't speak very well, obviously, right? But when I get serious writing, I can write, I can get all my thoughts out for the most part. And I let them know as a business owner, if I operated that way, I would be out of business. And I don't understand why people can't just communicate in that regard, whether I agree with it or not. This was kind of funny on this other business. I'm like, you are going to let $20 cost you my hundreds of thousands of dollars. It seems pretty stupid. But anyways, I hope y'all have a great new year. I hope you've had a great Christmas. I hope you get everything you wanted, even new lighting. And again, this is a realist reselling video. You see, this is a real me in the raw, wake up, being who I am. If you don't like it, I love you. So stay positive, stay picking, and stay rad. Love you. Till next time, ship it.